Glasgow Warriors secured their place in the Investec Champions Cup quarter-finals with a hard-fought 25-21 victory over the Bulls at Scotstoun Stadium, overcoming brutal weather conditions and a fiercely competitive South African side in a gripping knockout encounter. A stormy battle worthy of the occasion. This round of 16 clash had all the ingredients of classic knockout rugby: intensity, physicality, momentum swings, and a dramatic finish. Add in torrential rain brought by Storm Dave, and the stage was set for a contest that would test not only skill but also resilience and game management. Under the guidance of Franco Smith, Glasgow entered the match as favourites, buoyed by strong recent form and home advantage. However, the Bulls, led by their experienced core, were never going to roll over easily. The early exchanges reflected the challenging conditions, with both sides struggling for fluency as handling errors and turnovers disrupted rhythm. It was Handra Pollard who broke the deadlock in the 12th minute, slotting a penalty to give the visitors the lead. Glasgow responded swiftly. A powerful break from Stafford McDowall injected urgency into the home side's attack, setting the platform for Max Williamson to crash over for the opening try, but the Bulls hit back through Johan Grobler, who finished off a flowing move sparked by a brilliant offload from David Creel. The seesaw nature of the match continued as Jack Dempsey powered over for Glasgow before Pollard added another penalty to give the Bulls a narrow 14-12 lead at halftime. Glasgow grind through adversity. The second half followed a similar pattern, with both teams battling not only each other but also the unforgiving weather. Glasgow's ambition to play expansively was evident, but the conditions made sustained attacking phases extremely difficult. Despite this, they managed to find crucial breakthroughs late in the game. Tries from Patrick Schickerling and McDowall gave the Warriors an 8-point cushion heading into the final stages, yet, true to the nature of the contest, the Bulls refused to back down. Marco van Staden crossed the line to narrow the deficit to a single point with just minutes remaining, setting up a tense finish. It was Adam Hastings who ultimately sealed the victory, calmly slotting the decisive kick in the dying moments to secure Glasgow's progression. The impact of Storm Dave. While the result will delight Glasgow, the performance highlighted areas for improvement. Particularly with a quarter-final clash against RC Toulon looming, the conditions wreaked havoc on Glasgow's usually fluid attacking game. They conceded possession 17 times, more than double the Bulls' tally, often trying to force expansive play when a more pragmatic approach may have been warranted. To their credit, the Bulls were unable to fully capitalize on these errors. However, against a team like Toulon, such generosity could prove costly. Smith will likely emphasize the need for better game management in adverse conditions, ensuring his side can adapt more effectively when their preferred style is disrupted. Bulls adapt but fall short. For the Bulls, this was a performance that showcased both resilience and adaptability, even in defeat. Under head coach Johan Ackerman, they have been working to evolve their traditionally forward-dominated style into a more expansive game. However, the conditions at Scotstoun forced them to revert to their roots. Pollard was instrumental in this approach, using his tactical kicking to control territory and relieve pressure. His ability to manage the game in difficult conditions was evident throughout, as he repeatedly pinned Glasgow back and forced errors. The Bulls' back three, including Kurtley Arends and Kanan Moody, excelled under the high ball, while scrum half Ambrose Papier marshaled the forwards effectively. Their set piece was another area of strength. Despite some inconsistencies in refereeing decisions, the Bulls' scrum often had the upper hand, and Juan Norch delivered a standout performance at the line-out, disrupting Glasgow's throws and securing valuable possession. Ultimately, though, their efforts were undermined by discipline. Conceding 14 penalties compared to Glasgow's 8 proved decisive in such a tight contest. South Africa's European struggle continues. The Bulls' exit marks the end of South African involvement in this season's Champions Cup, with the Sharks and Stormers also falling short in the knockout stages. Despite being competitive, South African teams have yet to make a deep run in the competition. The challenges of travel, unfamiliar conditions, and the difficulty of winning away from home have all played a role. This latest defeat reinforces the importance of strong pool stage performances, which can secure more favorable knockout fixtures. As it stands, the road to European success remains a steep one for South African franchises. McDowall shines on the big stage among the standout performers. McDowall was a deserving recipient of the Player of the Match award. His influence was felt across all aspects of the game. Offensively, he sparked key attacking moments, including the break that led to Glasgow's opening try and his own crucial score later in the match. His tactical kicking also helped pin the Bulls deep in their territory. Defensively, he was equally impressive, making crucial tackles and maintaining composure under pressure. His selection ahead of more established names was fully justified, as he delivered when it mattered most. Grobbler's tireless effort on the losing side, Grobbler produced a monumental performance that nearly swung the game in the Bulls' favor. The hooker was everywhere, scoring a try, making 29 tackles, and maintaining a 90% success rate at the lineout. His work rate and physicality were exceptional, and he played a central role in keeping the Bulls competitive throughout. While Malcolm Marx remains the first-choice option for South Africa, performances like this strengthen Grobbler's case for greater involvement at the international level. Fine margins decide the outcome in a match as closely contested as this. The difference between victory and defeat often comes down to small moments. For the Bulls, one such moment involved Van Staden. While his late try brought his team back into contention, an earlier lapse in discipline proved costly. A penalty conceded for dragging a player into touch after the tackle had been completed handed Glasgow valuable territory, which they converted into points. Such errors, combined with their overall penalty count, ultimately tipped the balance in Glasgow's favor. Looking ahead for Glasgow, the focus now shifts to their quarter-final clash with Toulon, a significant milestone as they host a Champions Cup quarter-final for the first time. The victory over the Bulls will provide confidence, but it also serves as a reminder of the level required to progress further. Against stronger opposition, they will need to be more clinical and disciplined. For the Bulls, attention turns back to domestic competition, where they will aim to build on the positives from this performance and address the issues that cost them. A victory forged in resilience. In the end, this was a victory built on resilience, adaptability, and composure under pressure. Glasgow may not have been at their free-flowing best, but they found a way to win, a hallmark of successful teams. In testing conditions against a determined opponent, they held their nerve and delivered when it mattered most. As the Champions Cup enters its sing stages, Glasgow's ability to grind out results like this could prove invaluable.